Well, today is tomorrow, or tomorrow today, one of it. We're going to plant squash and cucumbers today. For the most part, I have a couple of ones that are spindly, but they have done the hardening off fairly well. This one you probably can't tell on camera, but it's a little lighter here, and that is the initial part of getting the extra sunlight, and it's okay now, but that's how sunburn starts, and it would dry right out if they actually got sunburned. This one got nipped in the process of moving, so that's why that died, and I have a couple more like that, but for the most part I got them all out undamaged. I've laid out the squash plants, most of them where I'm going to put them. I have two varieties left, and now these that I'm walking up along by here, they are the spaghetti squash. I've got them set 2 paces apart, and this is an idea I got from, I think it's Homegrown Garden. It's a lady over in the UK. That's the food force. So she was talking about where to different ideals to put your squash plants, because the vines are so large, they take up so much space. And one of the ideals was that she was planting them out in where they're going to extend their food forest, and that way you put down cardboard for them to run on. They'd have a nice clean layer to run on, and at the same time you're killing some of the vegetation for when you're going to extend the food forest there. Now, like I said, I've got them put along in a straight, about 2 paces apart, kind of a few feet out from the outflow ditch here. I'll set the camera right here, and I'll show you how I'm going to go about installing them now. First, I'll cut a ring in the sod. Similar to if I'm going to set a tree. Take that up from there. Loosen up the soil a bit. Throw some compost in there. In this case, I'm going to mix the compost in a bit. As you know, in my garden beds, I don't usually do that. take this, I'll put its take down there. Let's see which one does better. Hole in the center. Okay. Wonder if that'll go down through without me cutting it. Driving pegs into the ground around here is very difficult because there's so many stones, and I've come across this idea. This was a old drill bit that I had, and I ground off the end so that it would fit in here properly. You can buy actually soil hoggers, they're called, to go in these drills. I do have one, but he's a bigger one. He's too big for this process. Now, that's just a deterrent, you see. Technically, if the rabbits really wanted to get in there, they could. But because they have lots to eat out around, they're not going to fight their way in through there. And that I will do with the rest of them, and I'll show you the finished result. I finished these. Don't think I'm going to get the squash planting done today. My energy levels is not very high, but as you can see, the cardboard's down, pegged down with the sticks. All of these transplanted just as well as the ones that you seen me transplant. So they already know they've been moved. And as they grow, I will extend the cardboard out and peg it down the same way, and the plant will be growing on clean cardboard. The fruit will be growing on clean cardboard, and it will be protected the whole way along from said snowshoe hares. So in the beginning of the spring, I had a little bit of compost left here in a bin. I finished it off, and I thought of an idea for the patty pan squash. So I left actually a layer of compost on the ground. And what I have here is 4 patty pan squash. The what's the name of them again now? White scallop. And 4 Morton Hurley cucumber. And I'm going to make a pyramid shaped trellis for them to go on. So I'll plant along there on each of the 4 corners a cucumber, and halfway along each side I will plant a white scallop squash, and I'll build the trellis now afterwards. That'll be a video in itself. Around this patch, because it was such a little small patch, I just put stakes all the way around the whole thing. And yes, they are close together, but there's an awful lot of nutrients there. My Deals Atlantic Giant I grew 2 years ago. I grew it up here. Take note, I have 4 Deals Atlantic Giant plants here. These are the rest of my Morton Hurley cucumbers, 4 of them. You see that one, he's broken. That was the initial when I brought them out first, and he got broke with the wind, but he's still alive. And that one in the round pail, that's the last of my white scallop squash that I have ready to go. Now, as I said, take note of the Deals Atlantic Giant. One of my university professors said, you go to college to learn about your chosen career. You go to university to learn how to learn about your chosen career. And this is one place where it came in handy. I was curious about what crossed with what. The outside one here, that's zucchini, rondinise. It's those little ball-shaped zucchini. This line is cucumber bush crop. Over here, this is butternut squash. That's Deals Atlantic Giant pumpkin. I found out that there is actually 6 species of squash. Most of the ones we know about are the summer squash, which includes zucchini, crookneck squash, spaghetti squash, your patty pan squash, etc. Deals Atlantic Giant is a winter squash and will not cross with summer squash or any of the other 5 varieties. Butternut squash is another species of squash. I'll put the name up on the screen. Starts with a hem. It is neither a winter squash nor a summer squash. I only have the one variety of that species of squash. Deals Atlantic Giant is C. maxima. I only have the one variety of that. So I can plant those anywhere I want. There's nothing for them to cross with. The summer squash is C. pepo, P-E-P-O. So that allowed me to say, okay, I can plant these side by side and I don't have to worry, and I don't have to spread my squash out so much. Now the two squash that I have left that I haven't put out where they're going to be planted, this one down here is zucchini dark green, and the one on the bench beside me is the vegetable marrow. Now I really want to get some of them growing because this is one I've never heard of before actually. It is a summer squash and the other one is a zucchini, so I need to find a place to put them. This vegetable marrow I think I'm going to put on the slope going up to the apple tree on the cliff. I would do that tomorrow morning. I don't know what I'm going to do with the zucchini dark green yet. Oh, we'll find that out maybe in the next video. I'm going to show you where I got the rest of them right now. For the sake of not stretching out the video, we'll just go and I'll show you where I'm placing things. So this is a pumpkin baby Pam. Actually, no, that's the cucumber, which is National Pickling, and a pumpkin baby Pam. Then another National Pickling cucumber, and a pumpkin baby Pam. In the Cool Whip container there, that's 5 sunflowers. It's a tall one, I can't remember the name. Then we add a baby Pam, pumpkin, a cucumber National Pickling, and a cucumber National Pickling. Then we swing around here. Here's the lilac bush. Are they all cucumbers? Yeah, so this is 4 cucumber National Picklings here. And what did I put here? That's another 2 Dill's Atlantic Giant. I knew I had 2 more. I was wondering where they went. I may put them there. I may give them to the neighbor. And now I have some more sunflowers I'll be planting along the fence. They hardened off like the ones I just showed you in the Cool Whip container. This is the zucchini dark green. Zucchini grows more like a little bush really, and they say to plant them at least 2 feet apart. These pegs I have here, so I measured out zigzag across the bed, and in this bed fits 8 zucchini with a minimum distance of 2 feet between zucchini plants. So I'm going to set you down over right here now. I'll put on my gloves and plant 1 zucchini at each peg that I have put in here. I don't know if I've already said this, but when you're doing transplanting your plants, some people, if their plants are really root bound, now this one's not root bound, but it's got a fair amount of roots, they will take it and fluff up the bottom of the roots to stimulate root growth, they say. I disagree. I find the least that you disturb the roots, the least transplant shock the plant will have. What I've done there now this plant won't even know it's been moved. And it will continue to grow and expand its roots out from where it's at. There we have it. Not really comfortable with, you see I've got the zucchini here. This is rondinise. And then it's over there about 30 feet. I'd say about 25 feet away. It's getting a little close for my liking for saving seed. So I was thinking about it, and how would I put in some extra barrier to make sure that the pollinators don't go from the acorn squash over to the zucchini. And I decided that I would put a mesh over these, a row of mesh. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to put a mesh over those zucchini, I can put a mesh over the other one as well. And the zucchini you see me plant earlier, see, we got this bed, we're up 1, 2, 3, 4 beds. That's that one right there. So that's the zucchini dark green on pretty much the other end of the shady plot away from the zucchini rondinise. I have the vegetable marrow to plant, but I have to wait for something. I'm going to put out the rest of the transplants and mow the grass, and then I guess I can give you a more complete tour of the garden. So we got the squash in. Hope you liked it. I'll see you in the next video.